Now, former President Goodluck Jonathan has paid a visit to the national chairman of the opposition African Democratic Congress, the ADC, Senator David Mark, and at his Abuja residence, Now, the meeting, which is described as crucial, comes amid growing political realignments ahead of the 2027 general election and reports that the former president may seek re-election. While details of their discussion remain undisclosed, observers believe the parley may not be unconnected with efforts to forge new alliances and strengthen the opposition's position in the evolving political landscape. Jonathan, who has in recent months been at the center of consultations across party lines, continues to play a pivotal role in Nigeria's democratic process. Well, for more on the African Democratic Congress, we're being joined in the studio by Honorable Chille Igbawua. He is a member of the ADC Strategy Committee. Good morning, sir. Can you kindly shed any light on the purpose of former President Jonathan's visit to Senator David Mark and why it was important for the ADC to host him now? Go ahead, sir.
Honorable Chille, that question is for you.
Good morning, viewers. Thank you very much. I think the visit was a private visit to the national chairman of the party, and I would say that the details of the visit have not yet been disclosed. But you may not be wrong. Jonathan is the former president, and he's been in the news of recent concerning whether he will be run for elections in 2027 or not. And even if he's not running, what he thinks about the sitting government and then the opposition political parties. I believe that given the status of the ADC as one of the most active opposition parties, should be interested in having discussions with the national chairman.
Okay, prior to former President Jonathan's visit, he's been on the news. The possibility and the plausibility of his candidacy has been discussed so far. Within the rank and file of the African Democratic Congress, have there been discussions about the possibility of adopting President Jonathan as a likely candidate for the party?
Not at all. The issue is that ADC has, as one of its fundamental principles, always said and insisted that the emergence of a candidate must be through the democratic process. So the issue of adopting a candidate would normally not arise. We have people who are already strong members of the coalition and also in the ADC who are also interested in running for the presidency. But what has been the issue at the forefront, at the front burner of the ADC, is that we should be concerned more about strengthening the structures of the party and ensuring that we're in a position to deliver victory in 2027. And those who are aspirants, to our knowledge, have also agreed that that is the way to go, and that they're willing to step down their ambitions for now to ensure that we have a strong political party on ground. And there is also the assurance, some of those who are known aspirants have publicly declared that they will be willing to work with any candidate who wins through a democratic process. So when we talk about adopting a candidate, it means we are defeating the whole purpose of democracy, and that is not part of the expectations that members of the ADC have.
All right, thank you so much for that, Honorable Igbawua. Now, you know, some of the information that emerged from the ADC yesterday was something that seemed like a marching order, that the ADC will require all of their members to rescind membership with other political parties and become official members of the ADC. Of course, we know that constitutionally this is the expectation. However, in the past, we've seen, you know, a number of prominent people who have straddled you know, one foot in one place, one foot in another place, and so forth. My question to you is, what is the deadline? Because we also know that a lot of these politicians like to wait until the very last minute when they know that all hope is lost in other places to quickly commit to a place. This has become the trend in most instances. So is ADC going to be bold enough to create a deadline and a timeline that wouldn't be a last-minute type of affair?
No, thank you very much. I think it's not, the deadline is already here. It's now. And we're talking about those who are already members of the coalition, because the coalition has adopted ADC as their platform. So the expectation is that all members of the coalition who had worked together for over a year and 4 months should have made up their minds. We had said in previous programs on television and the media generally that there was some concession given to only 2 persons, and that was His Excellency El-Rufai and His Excellency Peter Obi, who had outstanding elections in their own former political parties. So they were allowed for the time of the off-season elections to canvass for their candidates. But now that is virtually over. For His Excellency El-Rufai, he has already conducted the by-elections in Kaduna, which he was interested in, and he doesn't have any reason to continue to be showing his membership of more than one political party. And like you rightly said, that is what the Constitution provides.
Igbawua, one of the reports stated that Atiku Abubakar is yet to become an official member of ADC. Is this true?
I'm not too sure about that, because we have both, manual and online registration. So I wouldn't say that for now.
So you're not sure if Atiku Abubakar, who has been carrying the mantle of the ADC as his brand, you're not sure if he's an official member of the party?
No, I'm not sure about the allegation that he's not a member of the ADC. I would rather say he is. And it would be left for a person who has better information to say he is not. I believe that he is a member of the ADC.
Okay, let's look at the internal workings of the party, especially a fallout from the stakeholders meeting that was held yesterday at the ADC. Now, one of the take-home is that the party agreed that they would support whoever wins the primary. But the question is, we understand that Section 84 of the Electoral Act 2022 provides for 3 modes of conducting primaries with the presence of INEC. That's the direct, indirect, and the mode of consensus rather. But what mode is the ADC adopting for its elections, primary elections?
The National Working Committee of the party is working on those details. Like I told you, the preoccupation for now is to, speed up membership registration, which is a concern of most members of the ADC, and that was emphasized very strongly at yesterday's meeting, that the process of membership registration and, very importantly, revalidation, because there are some members on the register of the ADC who are no longer there.
But look, one reason or the other. Let me just come in. Looking at the states the ADC is right now, they would be wrestling against an incumbent factor. That's the ruling All Progressive Congress. You don't think that ADC is in a race against time, that they need to show some sense of urgency in its planning?
That's exactly what we're doing. We know we're in a race against an incumbency, but there are 2 sides to incumbency, like a coin. You have the positive signs of incumbency and the negative signs.
Right.
And for us, we know that the APC belongs to the negative side. They have not much to count in their favor for being incumbents in government, because they messed the place up.
Well, speaking about the APC and the negative and the positive sides, recently a Canadian court reportedly declared the APC and the PDP as terrorist organizations. What do you make of that report?
Well, it shows part of the negativity that I'm saying. If the perception of the international community and more so the Nigerian community is that the APC and the PDP have failed, and they are not parties who we here are not calling them terrorists yet, but there are all elements of banditry in both the APC and the PDP, and that's why we say they are negatives. And we do not believe that the majority of Nigerians are looking forward to APC or ADC. And we're talking to Nigerians directly at the grassroots, and we know what we're doing.
Okay, Honorable Igbawua, I just want to come back to, the membership status of some of your front runners, if I may call it that, for the presidential ticket within the party. Today's Daily Independent reports that the Obidient movement have declared that there's no uncertainty or confusion about Peter Obi's position, that he will run on the ticket of the Labour Party for 2027. I'd just like to confirm, are you expecting him to port, or are you aware that his movement, because of course the attraction around Peter Obi is the Obidient movement, what is the status of your talks with Peter Obi? Are you expecting him to also pick up his membership as a matter of now, as you've said the deadline is now?
Yes, of course. Peter Obi has been participating in the process of the coalition right from the beginning until now. So sometimes when members of Obidient make statements, we doubt whether they are consulting him. The issue is that the vital and critical processes that we are going through, Peter Obi is part of it. He is part of, the leadership that constituted the reconstituted National Working Committee and NEC. And if you have no keen interest in a political party and you are moving your principal persons into their leadership, then I don't know what else will show us that. He is not from outside. It's a different thing when you say whether Jonathan is coming. That's a different way. He's not been part of the coalition. But Peter Obi has been part of the coalition from the beginning. And I have seen him say in audio and video messages that he's a member of the party and that he is there not just for the purpose of getting a ticket for the presidency. He is there to salvage Nigeria. That is what he has said himself. So I'd rather believe Peter Obi himself, who is at meetings with us, than believe those who were part of his 2023 ambition. They may be thinking that maybe they are better off identifying as the Obedients, but I can assure you that Obedients themselves are not static.
Don't you need them? Don't you need their Obedience in 2027?
We definitely need them. And several of them are in the leadership of the party of the ADC as I'm speaking to you. But I should perhaps remind you that the Labour Party has two factions. I will not be surprised if some of the Obedients have chosen a different faction, but for those who are in the faction in which Peter Obi is, are certainly those who are for the ADC. And we are working with them. Where the national chairman of the party, of the Labour Party, is with us at meetings every time we meet, along with Peter Obi. So I don't want to believe those who are speaking possibly without due consultations.
Okay. So what would you say are specific strategies that the ADC is pursuing in these early realignments?
Well, matter of strategy, there are not matters we discuss too openly, but we know what it takes to win an election. And so you are developing strategies, one, of building a formidable political party. We are developing strategies of having a very, strong and democratic constitution. We are working towards a workable manifesto, and we are working towards developing a blueprint for an ADC government. But so that when we come into government, we're not going to start looking left and right. What do we do? Because these are being worked upon. And so we come in ready to start to hit the ground running on day one when we take over, governance in Nigeria.
Okay. Ahead of the race to 2027, you have some multiple legal tussle against the leadership structure, the status of the leadership structure of your party. How is your party coping with this? And what if it turns out the other way? What are the other political options for your party?
Well, let me reassure Nigerians once again that we do not have any concerns about litigation. Litigation is an ongoing thing. But before we ever got to choosing the ADC as our platform, we had navigated all the possibilities, including litigations. And we know that those that were there, we allowed them to get them off, the face of the litigation, portal. Before we got the party down, we have reviewed all those things. Now, of the few new litigations that are coming up, we know they are worthless. I'm not just speaking because I'm a lawyer. I'm speaking because we, as a legal team, already investigated those people who are going to court, and we know either they don't have the locus to be there. So why do you worry about...
But there are some people who would say that the ADC has no political structure with about just 3 members in the National Assembly.
That is not a structure. The issue is that every person you see on the screen who is in the coalition has a structure. I have a structure. I won election as a member of the National Assembly. My structures are still intact. So if I come into ADC, I bring my structures. Peter Obi has structures more than he had in 2023. He is there. He has developed the structures more. Atiku has structures. Tambuwa has structures. Everybody, you see all the people you call them, you can see them on the screen. They have structures. So forget about the structures of those other people. The structures are being brought together.
Okay. Honorable Chille Igbawua, member of the ADC Strategic Committee. We've heard you loud and clear. The structures are coming together. I know in the Western world they would say the plot thickens, but since we're in Nigeria, I will say this soup is getting more exciting with so many assorted or rishi ingredients coming together for a tasty meal. Thank you so much for your time. That's all we have time for here on Daybreak. I'm Mumbai Mutimire Kweyong. I'm signing out.
And I'm Benga Ashuru. Don't forget it's Friday. Get the groove on, and it's goodbye from me.
The groove on indeed. I'm Yolanda Robert. Please do keep it here on Arise News. The morning show is next. Goodbye.